Welcome, Prashant. So finally, we are launching our Tuxedo. When I came to you with this plan proposal, maybe 6-7 months back, I gave you a product brief. So what was in your mind? What was the design philosophy you thought about when you visualized Tuxedo?
Firstly, Ranjit, thank you for having me here. See, our design philosophy has always been to create the perfect product for the intended buyer. In order to achieve this, we have to follow a number of steps. The first step is basically to understand the market, to do a detailed analysis to understand who exactly is your target audience and who's likely to buy this product. Secondly, you have to look at basically how you position this product in the present market scenario, in terms of not only its affordability but also in terms of its design. So once we have these two in place, of course, we have to make sure that we comply with the rules before we commence on our design approach. What we wanted to do in this project was a bit different. The site in itself was a bit peculiarly shaped in the form of a triangle. So there were a number of ways in which we could approach the design. The first way was to just create probably two blocks or create an L-shaped block. But I opted for a triangle shaped building with an inner courtyard, principally to promote the concept of community living. This is something that we see lacking, especially in the urban projects in the city. So what it does is basically it creates an inclusive courtyard, inner courtyard, and not only allows for four-side ventilation because of the inner courtyard, but also allows for people to know each other, which is very important for a project to be successful, not just during construction, but also during its actual, when people start living there. So once we started this approach of design, we realized that basically there were certain aspects to look into. First thing is, of course, everyone who aspires to buy an apartment is looking for optimum size bedrooms. A bedroom should have all the possible amenities one can think of.
Right.
I'm going micro level, not macro level. First is basically your bed should fit in, which you find lacking in many projects. Your bed should fit in along with a wardrobe.
Right.
Enough space to move around. Every room should have an option for a TV, ideally placed across the bed. So these were the three aspects. The fourth aspect is, of course, the ventilation and light. So every bedroom should have a minimum width of 4.5 feet windows, because if you give smaller windows than that or larger windows than that, it can be counterproductive. So as we moved from the bedroom, we went to the public spaces, which are your living and dining. So the living and dining also have been designed in such a way that the living can actually seat about 6 people. Because every family, maybe a 3-bedroom apartment, will have a probably family size of 6, and a 2-bedroom a family size of 5. So taking those assumptions into account, we made sure that the living room is large enough to accommodate at least 6 people. A dining room which can accommodate 6 people, again a dining table which can accommodate 6 people. Then we went into the micro level detailing of the kitchen. What is the actual counter lengths that are required for a family to live comfortably? How much of storage space one would require in a kitchen? And then, of course, the last thing is, after doing all this exercise, you have to make sure that it is Vastu compliant. Obviously, Chennai being a conservative market, every buyer is looking to have an apartment that's Vastu compliant for his, his betterment and his fulfillment. So we have managed to achieve all these aspects, and then only we present the design to you. So our initial approach will be to create a number of options, and in those options create several iterations before we present a design to you. So once the design was presented to you, I was confident of this particular product because I know it will work, especially to the aspirations of the prospective buyer.
Thank you, Prashant. Prashant, we are positioning this product towards the achievers, and we believe the project has to be premium. You have done many projects in Velachery. So how would you call Tuxedo a premium project?
Without getting into the standard specifications, what probably every developer follows in projects of this particular category, Tuxedo has a few premium specifications over and above these, especially since we are offering wooden flooring in the master bedroom. number one. Number two, we are basically offering a RO plant. Most of the developers just give a RO provision. We are actually providing an RO plant in every kitchen. So that is, I think, also very important. Every bathroom is a dry bathroom, which means that we have clearly identified the wet areas and dry areas. Your shower cubicle is right in the end of the bathroom, so your bathroom doesn't get wet when you have a bath. So those are very important, crucial aspects. Other than that, in the living and dining, we are providing larger size tiles, 800 mm by 800 mm. Other developers are offering just 600 by 600, so that's another added advantage. And overall, the design of the project in itself is premium because of the inner courtyard.
Right. Prashant, the last question which I would like to ask is, you have done projects for many, many developers. So what are the best practices you have adopted in this project?
See, our endeavor has always been that, we engage the best of consultants, whether it's structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing or firefighting. Also, what we try to do is, before the project actually commences at site, we have to ensure that the entire set of drawings is in hand. Because we don't want to reach a situation where drawings are required at the site and the contractor is delaying the work or anything of that sort because of lack of information. So what we are doing is basically our office coordinates with all the consultants, make sure that we superimpose each and every discipline of engineering into the architectural drawings before issuing to the site. So all drawings are issued by our company and not by individually or departmentally by people. So that in itself is one of the most important best practices to be followed by every architect. It doesn't happen, unfortunately. Secondly, what happens is during the construction process, monitoring of the project is very crucial. Many developers don't involve the architect in the day-to-day monitoring, which I feel is a huge mistake. It is very important that the architect is privy to every aspect or every problem that crops up at the site and addresses that at the right time. Otherwise, you will have a spate of 200, 300 problems after 6 months, and that's where compromise occurs. So that I think is very important. Thirdly, in terms of best practices, we make sure that all our drawings are compliant with the CMDA.
Right.
That is very crucial because, as you know, in Chennai now every project requires a completion certificate, and many projects are unable to obtain a completion certificate because the way in which the project started off and the way in which it's completed is totally different.
Right.
So we ensure that all the drawings right from schematic stage up to the last part of the engineering are CMDA compliant. What is important to understand is that our good for construction drawings are as good as the completion drawings. So I think that saves a lot of time for the developer and also ensures that the buyer can occupy his apartment at the time that the developer promises.
That gives a lot of comfort. Here presenting Prashant Kharche, Chief Architect of Tuxedo.
Ranjeeth, right at the outset, you have been saying that Tuxedo is an aspirational project, and your target audience is basically buyers who are aces in their industry. So, how did you actually determine this?
So, Prashant, before we started this project, before we gave you a design brief, we did enough research with the help of our team. We surveyed the entire market. We found the available products. What is the income segment which we can target? What kind of positioning of product which we can do? After doing thorough research, we came up that Tuxedo needs to be a product for achievers. And that's what is missing right now in Velesheri. We have positioned our product towards achievers in their own field. I mean, they don't have to be the big CEOs of the company or MDs of the company. They could be the CEOs of their own department, but they are achievers. And we believe that Tuxedo will add value to such achievers. We have designed our project as nice premium 2 BHK and 3 BHK, keeping in mind the requirements of such achievers. And I'm sure that they will feel proud living in a project which is meant for the aces.
Ranjeeth, with so many developers in this particular market segment, how does DRA plan to differentiate itself what is the brand philosophy of DRA and how do you expect to achieve your goal?
Good question, Prashant. Since you have touched on the topic of brand philosophy, I would like to emphasize something more on that. You have already spoken about the product, its premiumness. DRA's core is customer. That's, I would probably say, the quintessential centric of DRA philosophy. We have come out with many initiatives in this front. We have a information sharing character by name Square Foot Subbu, who shares a lot of home buying facts in a breezy manner. Then we have something called as a instant feedback system. We have tied up with a company called Cloud Cherry, and right now our customer delight meter is at 86%. They analyze every journey of the customer and give us feedback. Apart from that, we have a loyalty program where customers are rewarded for their gestures and we reward them for whatever activities which they do with DRA. These are as far as the customer-centric initiatives are concerned. But we as a brand, we need to stand for transparency and trust. We have a 24 months program already in place to complete this project, Tuxedo. And we assure our customers that we will keep them updated on its progress month on month till we deliver them to their satisfaction. This is what we are going to differentiate Tuxedo from the rest of the projects.
Thank you, Ranjith, and all the best
Thank you.
to the success of Tuxedo.